I'm going to go through some Reddit questions, and the first question is, how do you make finger walking work? So finger walking is sort of like how you walk your hand up along the mat to open someone's elbow, for example, from mount. Let's read the question itself. I struggle from mount, even with double underhooks, to walk my opponent's arm up over their head. When people do it to me, it seems effortless, but somehow all my opponents muscle through and keep their lats contracted. I'm not small or weak, so I figure there must be a bunch of technique details are missing. How do you guys make it work? So finger walking from mount is basically, the idea is I want to get this arm up above the head. This is like a really good advancement in my position from mount. And one of the ways that's often taught is you put your hand on the mat and you start to walk your fingers to open the elbow out. If Bilal locks his elbow tight and then I try and do this, it's not going to open his elbow. I need to actually add a whole bunch of things. The finger walking is actually just a tiny part of the puzzle here. Okay. First, you need to drop your shoulder down to get behind your elbow a little bit. So even though he's locked his arm, I can't be up here. I have no leverage here. I need to be getting my shoulder down close and my elbow wider, so I have a larger lever here like this. Okay. I can't be here. I've got a very poor lever to open his elbow. I want to be down here. Okay. I've got to walk in a wide arc which follows where his elbow would go. Okay, again, I can't walk up this way. He can just close in on that. But then most of the solution to this is actually going to be the drive from my legs and moving my head with this. I'll show like even a variant of this as well, but I want to be, so keep that elbow tight. Right. I want to be dropping my legs, driving off the ground, and I'm starting to move my head up and across towards the far side, and that is hard to fight, right? So I'm now actually mostly driving off my toes on the mat here, hips coming in, and my head leaning to the other side. It's very hard to do if my hip stays on this side. I start losing that tension. I'm driving across off the mat here, like this. Something I even do if that's difficult. Sometimes if he's locked in really tight, right, sometimes I do the same thing. I stop doing the finger walk and I focus on like leaning my body weight this way, so hooking at my elbow. So sometimes on this angle it's actually still hard. Locking your elbow tight and going this way is another way of getting that elbow up. So a question from Reddit, guard engagement issues. Fresh blue belt here. Lately I've been struggling with engagement when playing guard in both gi and no gi against upper belts. I feel as though I am starting every engagement in a defensive cycle, as the weirdos over at New Wave would say. I get put supine, then I feel like I'm behind. Struggling to get a guard in place to slow my opponent's pass attempts. Please help. First off, I would need to know what type of guard you like to play, because the answer is going to be very different. Like I would break the different guards down into three major points of entry. Actually, there's probably four major strategies you might look at here. Do you like to wrestle up or not? Okay, because if you like to wrestle up, that might change like how you're approaching. You might be looking to find avenues to wrestle up. You should always mix wrestling up though with engaging and attaching to some sort of guard. I think wrestling up alone as a strategy is not great, but when mixed with trying to pull into guard, it can be okay. So then, do you want to pull into outside position guards like this with your feet on the outside? Do you want to be pulling into inside position guards, something like a shin to shin, or if he's kneeling into a butterfly? Or do you like half guards, knee shields, these sort of positions? Okay, and it's not exclusive. Sometimes you want to lock your legs in like that, even if you like inside or outside position guards too. Okay, so first off, outside position entries. Okay, with all of this, it depends like what they're leading with. So Bilal's before he was quite tall, right? So I'm going to attach to his legs first in this case. I'm not worried about him grabbing my legs at this point. I'm worried about him like stepping around and so on. But usually from here, either a hook with a foot or reaching with your hand, and then you can start to scoot in to something like a De La Riva. If he's engaging with his hands, I'd be looking at something like a 2-on-1. Okay, a 2-on-1 grip's going to be excellent for kind of like whichever style of entry you like to do. Okay, so usually that's if any sort of grip comes on my upper body, I can start taking a 2-on-1. Right. Once I get the 2-on-1, I can use that to pull into K-guard by scooting out to the side. I can use that to go shin to shin, attached to the leg. And you can use the 2-on-1 also, enter into like a knee shield here, start working like attacks from the knee shield.
Generally, if they're reaching down towards my legs, you're going to start looking at grips around the back of the armpit / tricep, okay? Or arm drags. And if you like to wrestle up, that's where arm drags start to come up. If they're reaching towards the legs, I'll show you one of my favorite grips at the moment, which is a grip on the outside of the tricep, here like this. So anytime they've reached down, I just want to scoot my butt out to that same side, and I can pull very strongly to start to bring below forward to get attached to a leg, again towards K-guard. Okay, so again, we can go here as we invert through. That pulls into K-guard, pulls into shotgun arm bars as well too. That also can be good, if you want to pull in and start to attach here. You just have to be a little more careful if you're using this armpit grip. Anytime I'm putting a foot on the inside, I have to be very worried about an underhook. Okay, if he comes in and squashes me with this underhook, this is very bad. So you're going to have to know that your bottom leg is available to potentially come out if he starts to get a good underhook if you're using this tricep grip. Lastly, if you like a half guard, this is where guard retention is a very important skill. And of course, if he makes a good angle and gets good grips, you do actually want to go supine, and you might have to go defensive before you start getting feet in armpits and then tying up your grips. Let's say I know my opponent's so good at passing outside. You might even shoot in to attach, even if it gives you a little worse position, and then you can climb up to the grips you need. Right? So it could be, I know Bilal likes to shoot outside. I'm going to shoot my just hips in and try to latch on with a very low knee shield here, enough to just stop him. I don't really want to pull a full knee cut. If I can just get a slight knee shield, now I know he can't run around anymore. This can allow me to start building up to attach into the type of game I want to play. So again, that's last one we might go through here is just, even if he's a good distance, anytime you can shoot your legs in, hook, get a little knee shield.
So Reddit question, roadmap on Submeta. Hey guys, I've been lurking here for a while now. Figured I'd use your guys' knowledge to guide my journey. I just enrolled to the Submeta course and was wondering whether someone has a roadmap of courses for an experienced white belt. I know the game plan section is under development, but could use some guidance before it comes out, as I feel myself hopping between courses all the time. Thanks in advance. So that's a great question. First off, I'd say you make sure you're familiar with the Foundation series. That's a 6-part series that goes through the fundamentals, the baseline fundamentals that I want people to know before they start to work on their own game. Right? And in terms of working on your own game, I've seen a lot of people put out things like blue belt requirements, purple belt requirements, and kind of a set thing that people are meant to do as they advance through the ranks. And I just don't believe that something like that is how it actually plays out. People start developing their own game. They don't develop there's no set way that every blue belt or purple belt rolls. They each have individual styles. And the idea with Submeta is to have, basically cover so many different things that you can work with your attributes and the things that you like to develop your own unique pathway. So that's what the game plan is meant to sort of work on. It's not out yet, I know. So probably at this stage, I'd first just make sure you tick off escapes first, make sure you're good at escaping out of bad positions. If you're not, there's courses on escaping side control, mount, back control, those sort of positions where you want to be able to get back into your guard essentially. Then I would recommend generally feeling comfortable, have a game plan from guard. So choose a type of guard to work on. There's a few common ones that I would recommend as a first style of guard to do. It depends on what style of guard you like to play and what you are gravitating towards, but half guard's often a very good one to start with. Could be collar sleeve if you wanted to work a gi open guard. No gi open guard, probably a good one to go for is K guard as a starting point. If you're preferring inside position, something like butterfly or the half butterfly course, what you want to look for is a course that's labeled as intermediate. Right? There's advanced courses which go in a lot of depth, probably too much for someone to start out with. I want just these intermediate courses give you the main options and the main issues you'll run into. And then once you're very comfortable with it, you can then go on to the advanced courses associated with that if you want to get more in-depth counters and so on. So you've worked your guard, then you want to make sure, if you like to do takedowns, you can study the wrestling foundations. If you like to work your passing, I do recommend developing a good passing style. For example, under the legs passing. Everyone should be good at half guard passing, the cross knee through, and around the legs passing. These are some of the main ones I'd like people to start with first. And then after that, I recommend having one control position that you want to be good at finishing from. So is it mount? Is it the back? Is it some sort of submission control you like the Kimura or something like this. So you can pick one particular style of control and or submission and get good at that. And now you've got a fully rounded out game that you can start to build on with things that are adjacent to that. So you've now got you can escape out of most of the positions, you can get back to guard, you can get on top and you can pass the guard, get to your control positions and finish. Then usually you want to work on things that are closely related to the things that you're already good at. So if you're doing half guard, half butterfly fits in very well with that, for example, or knee shield might be the next course. Something that's closely related. If you look at the game plan is going to obviously include these features, but at the moment, if you click on a course and scroll down, there's a related courses thing that gives you all the courses related to the one that you're currently studying. So that should be a good example of what to work on next. So I hope that helps answer your question. And yeah, we'll have the game plan feature soon enough.
So if you want more content from me, then you should follow me on Instagram and you can check out my website, submitter.io.